I still remember the morning when everything in my life started to change. At that moment it felt like an ordinary day. The sky was gray and the air felt heavy. People moved through the streets like every other morning. Nothing looked different. But sometimes the most important days in our lives begin in the most normal way. My name is Ethan. Back then my life was quiet and predictable. I worked as an assistant manager in a small office downtown. The job was not exciting, but it paid my bills and gave me a stable routine. Every weekday looked almost the same. I woke up at 7 in the morning, drank a quick cup of coffee, and hurried to work. After a long day of answering emails and organizing reports, I returned home tired but comfortable. It was a small life, but it felt safe. Nothing unexpected ever happened. At least that's what I believed. That Monday morning I reached the office a few minutes late. Normally it didn't matter, but when I stepped inside I saw my boss, Mr. Harris, standing near the entrance. He looked unusually serious. "Ethan, come to my office," he said quietly. My stomach tightened. Something didn't feel right. I followed him down the hallway and sat in the chair across from his desk. He looked at some papers before speaking. "We're making some changes in the company," he said slowly. I waited, unsure of what was coming next. "Unfortunately, your position is no longer needed." For a moment I couldn't understand his words. "I'm sorry," he continued. "Today will be your last day." Just like that, everything I thought was stable disappeared. I packed my things quietly into a small box. I tried to act normal, but my hands were shaking. Questions filled my mind. How will I pay rent? What will I do next? What if I can't find another job? When I walked out of the building, the city looked exactly the same. Cars moved through the streets. People talked on their phones. Life continued as usual. But inside me, everything felt uncertain. Instead of going home, I started walking through the city without a destination. My thoughts kept repeating the same question. Why did this happen? After hours of walking, I reached a quiet park and sat on a wooden bench. The wind moved softly through the trees and dry leaves slowly fell to the ground. For a moment the silence helped calm my thoughts. That's when I noticed someone sitting at the other end of the bench. An older man. He wore a simple jacket and held a small notebook in his hands. He wasn't doing anything special. He was just watching people walk by. After a few minutes he spoke. "Long day?" he asked calmly. I looked at him, surprised. "Is it that obvious?" I replied. He smiled gently. "To someone who has lived a long life, yes." Something about his voice felt peaceful. "I lost my job today," I said honestly. He nodded as if he already knew. "And now you feel like everything is falling apart," he said. I looked at him. Exactly. The old man finally turned toward me. His eyes were calm but sharp. "Sometimes falling apart is the beginning of something better," he said. I almost laughed. "It doesn't feel like that," I replied. "I have no plan. I don't even know what I'm good at." The old man closed his notebook. "That might actually help you," he said. I frowned. "How?" "Because when you have nothing to lose, you are free to try new things." His words confused me. All my life I believed losing a job meant failure, but he spoke about it like an opportunity. I don't feel free, I admitted. I feel afraid. That's normal, he said. Fear often means you are standing in front of something new. We sat quietly for a moment. Then I asked the question that had been inside my head all day. What if I fail? He smiled again. What if you don't? That simple question stayed in my mind. All day I had been thinking about everything that could go wrong, but I had never thought about what could go right. The sun slowly began to set, coloring the sky orange and pink. Life rarely changes when everything feels comfortable, the old man said. Real change begins when things feel uncertain. I looked at him carefully. So what should I do now? He stood up slowly. Take the next step, he said. That's it. Yes, he replied. You don't need to see the whole road. Just take one step forward. Then he walked away through the park. That night I returned to my apartment with my small box of office items. The room felt quiet and empty. I sat on my bed thinking about the old man's words. Take the next step. The next morning felt strange. For the first time in years I had nowhere to go. No office. No schedule. No clear plan. I made coffee and sat at the table with a notebook. Then I wrote a simple title. Things I can do. At first my mind felt empty, but slowly I started writing. I can organize tasks. I can talk politely with customers. I can write emails clearly. I can solve small problems. I can help people stay organized. They were simple skills, but they were real. Later that day, I searched online for jobs like my old one, but something inside me felt uncomfortable. It felt like I was trying to return to the same life that had already ended, so I decided to try something different. I wrote a short post online offering help to small businesses. I explained that I could organize emails, manage messages, and communicate with customers. My heart raced when I clicked the post button. What if no one replies? That night I checked my phone many times. Nothing happened. The next morning I felt embarrassed. Maybe it was a bad idea. But just as I was about to delete the post, a notification appeared. One message. I opened it slowly. Hello. I saw your post. I run a small online shop and need help answering customer messages. Are you available? My heart started beating faster. The message came from a woman named Maya. It wasn't a big opportunity, but it was a beginning. I replied carefully. Yes, I'd be happy to help. That small message became the first step toward a new life. At first the work was challenging. I needed time to understand the business and learn how to answer customers properly. Sometimes I made small mistakes. Sometimes I felt unsure. But I kept improving every day. After a few days, Maya sent me a message. You're doing a great job. Customers are happy with your replies. I read the message twice. It felt good to hear that. By the end of the week, she asked another question. Would you like to continue working with me? I smiled immediately. Yes, I replied. Over the next few months, something unexpected happened. Maya recommended me to another business owner. Then another. Slowly my work began to grow. One client became two. Two became four. For the first time in my life, I felt like I was building something of my own. One evening after finishing my work, I returned to the same park and sat on the same bench. The old man wasn't there. But this time I understood what he had given me. He didn't give me a plan. He gave me a simple idea. You don't need to see the entire path. You only need the courage to take the next step. Looking back now, losing my job was not the worst moment of my life. It was the moment that pushed me forward. Life doesn't always change because of one big event. Sometimes it changes because of one small decision, one step, one choice, one simple yes. And sometimes that small step leads to a future you never expected.